Hey guys, welcome back to One Stop Biology. So today we are going to discuss all about prokaryotic cells. So guys, let me remind you that we have finished the second unit of class 11th NCRT, and in the last video we started off with the third unit, which is all about the cell, so its structure and function. So in the last video we basically covered the basics of cell theory and what is an overview of the entire cell and what are different kinds of cells which are found in different individuals, right? Different organisms. So in today's video we are going to discuss prokaryotic cells. Now prokaryotic cells are basically represented by bacteria, blue-green algae, mycoplasma and pneumonia-like organisms, which are also known as PPLO. PPLO, right? So basically, these organisms are generally smaller and they multiply very rapidly than the eukaryotic cells that you see, right? So basically, they may vary greatly in shape and sizes, and there are four basic shapes or bacteria. Now, what are these four basic shapes? So the first one is rod-like, which is known as bacillus. So bacillus, rod-like. Then we have spherical, coccus. Then we have comma-shaped, which is vibrio, and we have spiral, which is spirulum, right? So we have bacillus, coccus, vibrio and spirulum. Now, if you see the organization of a prokaryotic cell, it is basically similar even though prokaryotes exhibit a wide variety of shapes and functions, right? So all prokaryotes have a cell wall. Remember that if you see the cell of prokaryote, if you see a prokaryotic cell, you will see that all prokaryotes have a cell wall surrounding the cell membrane, right? Now inside that cell basically there is a fluid matrix which fills the cell from inside, and this fluid matrix is known as cytoplasm. So first thing is that they have cell wall, second is they have cytoplasm, right? Now there is no well-defined nucleus in prokaryotic cells. So remember, no well-defined nucleus, right? Now the genetic material, so basically there is no well-defined nucleus, and nucleus holds the chromosomes which has the genetic material. So here what is happening is that the genetic material is basically not enveloped by a nuclear membrane. So basically the genetic material is naked. So we have naked genetic material, right? Now, in addition to the genomic DNA, which is the single chromosome or circular DNA, many bacteria have small circular DNA outside the genomic DNA, and these smaller DNAs are known as plasmids. These are known as plasmids. So, these are non-genomic, right? These are small circular DNA which are not genomic DNAs, right? So these plasmid basically confirm certain unique phenotypic characters to such bacteria. So they give certain phenotypic characters. Like one such character is resistance to antibiotics, right? Now in higher classes, you'll also, learn that this plasmid DNA is basically used to monitor bacterial transformation with foreign DNA, right? Now, apart from this, nuclear membrane is found in eukaryotes. So, eukaryotes, the nucleus is with a nuclear membrane. It is not naked. Now, again, no organelles like the ones in eukaryotes. So, you have no organelles, right? So, basically, no organelles are found except for ribosomes. No organelles are found except for ribosomes. Now, prokaryotes also have something unique in the form of inclusions. So, they have a specialized differentiated form of cell membrane which is known as mesosome. Mesosome. So mesosome is the characteristic of prokaryotes, right? And these are basically nothing but infoldings of cell membrane, right? Now let's go towards the, so this is the, in general characteristics of the prokaryotic DNA. Now, if you see here, basically you can see the comparison, right? You can see the comparison here. So this is a eukaryotic cell. This is a eukaryotic cell. Now here you will see a lot of organs, or sorry, organelles and all that, right? This is basically 10 to 20 micrometer. You see this is a typical bacteria. This is a prokaryotic cell. This is hardly 1 to 2 micrometer. In the same, this is PPLO. This is almost about zero point 0.1 micrometer. These are viruses, even smaller. These are in the range of 2.02 to zero point 0.2 micrometer. So you will see the difference between eukaryotic and all these are prokaryotic cells, right? So you can see the difference between eukaryotic and prokaryotic cells, right? Yeah. So let's move towards the cell envelope and what are the modifications of the cell envelope, right? So cell, basically most prokaryotic cells, what happens in, and especially in bacterial cell, they have a chemically complex cell envelope. So the cell envelope is chemically very complex. Now the cell envelope consists of what? It consists of a tightly bound three-layered structure, right? So it consists of tightly bound three-layered structure, right? The outermost layer is of glycocalyx, which is followed by a cell wall, and then we have the plasma membrane. So the cell envelope of prokaryotic cell has glycocalyx layer, after which you have the cell wall, and then you have the plasma membrane, right? Although each layer of the envelope perform distinct function, they together act as a protective unit. They together act as a single protective unit. Now, bacteria can be classified into two grave groups on the basis of difference in the cell envelope. And on the basis of these cell envelopes, they basically respond to a staining procedure, right? Now, this was developed by Gram. Now, basically they are stained towards positive or negative, and these are gram stains. So gram stained are either gram positive, so it is either gram positive if they take up the stain, and it is gram negative if they do not take up the gram stain. Okay, so basically what happens is that they have glycocalyx, the first layer, right? Now glycocalyx differs in composition and thickness among different bacteria. It could be a loose sheath, which is known as a slime layer. So it can be a slime layer in some, and it in others, in some of the bacteria, it can be very thick and tough, which is known as capsule, which is known as capsule, right? So basically glycocalyx can be present in the form of a slime layer, or it can be present in the form of a capsule. Now let's come to the cell wall. Now cell wall basically determines the shape of the cell, and it also provides a strong structural support which prevents the bacteria from bursting or collapsing, right? So it provides structural support, and it makes the cell strong, and it helps determine the shape of the cell. Now the third layer is plasma membrane. So plasma membrane is a semi-permeable membrane, right? So it is semi-permeable in nature, and it interacts with the outside world basically, right? So it is very similar structurally to those as the eukaryotic cell. So basically all the, some of the exchanges that happen to in between cells is because of plasma membrane. So basically that is why it is semi-permeable. Now apart from that, if you remember, we said that they have a special structure which is mesosome. So a special membranous structure which is mesosome is formed by extension of plasma membrane in the cell, right? Now these extensions, these mesosomes can be in the form of vesicles. So they can be extension of plasma membrane in the form of vesicles, tubules, or lamellae, right? Now they help in cell wall formation. Remember, they help in cell wall formation, right? They also help in DNA replication. They also help in DNA replication, and they also help in distribution to daughter cells. They help in DNA replication and distribution to daughter cells. Now, apart from that, so see, they are very, very important, right? They help in cell wall formation, DNA replication, and distribution to daughter cells. Now, apart from that, they also help in respiration, they help in secretion processes, they help to increase surface area of plasma membrane, and they help in enzymatic contact. So these mesosome is very, very important in case of prokaryotic cells. Now, in some prokaryotes like cyanobacteria, there are other membranous extensions as well. And these are into the cytoplasm, and these are known as chromatophores. These chromatophores have pigments. These chromatophores have pigments, right? So basically, mesosome layer is very important in prokaryotic cells. Now, bacterial cells can be motile or non-motile. If they are motile, they have thin filamentous extensions. They have thin filamentous extensions, and these extensions are known as flagella. These extensions are known as flagella. So basically they show a range in number and arrangement of flagella, right? So if we basically talk about a bacterial flagellum, it has three components. The first component is filament, second is hook, and third is basal body. Now filament part is the longest portion and it extends from cell surface to the outside. Now apart from flagella, one can also have pili or fimbriae, which are surface structures. So pili and fimbriae are surface structures, but they do not play a role in motility. So if you get a question that basically which part of bacteria helps in motility, right, or movement, and if you get an option of flagellum and pili, flagellum and fimbriae, none of the above, then the correct answer would be flagellum. Pili and fimbriae doesn't play any role in motility, in movement, right? So pili are nothing but elongated tubular structure, and these are made up of special proteins. On the other hand, fimbriae are bristle-like fibers which are sprouting out of the cell, right? Now they both of these are basically known to help attach the bacteria, so to say rocks, if they are in high streams, or even to the host tissue as well. So basically they are an attachment tool for the bacteria, right? So this is all about cell envelope and its modification. Now let's go move towards the last subtopic, which is ribosome and inclusion bodies. Now, ribosomes basically in prokaryotes are associated with the plasma membrane of the cell, right? If you remember in the last video, we said that ribosomes are not just present, as an organelle, they are also at present attached to different other organelles, right? So ribosomes are associated with the plasma membrane of the cell in case of prokaryotic cell. They are about 15 nanometer to 20 nanometer in size, and they are made up of two subunits. So ribosomes are made up of two subunits, 50S and 30S, and together they make 70S prokaryotic ribosome. They make 70S prokaryotic ribosomes. Now ribosomes basically are site of protein synthesis. These are site of protein synthesis. Remember guys, that ribosomes are site of protein synthesis. Now several ribosomes, a lot of ribosomes may attach to a single mRNA and form a chain. These chains are known as polyribosomes or polysomes. Several ribosomes may attach to a single mRNA and they form a chain, and these chains are known as polyribosome or polysome. Now, ribosome of polysome translate mRNA, right? So, ribosomes of these polysome translate mRNA into proteins. Now, here comes basically translation process, which we'll cover in class 12th, right? So, basically, mRNA actively participates in translation where the RNA is translated into proteins, into polypeptide chains. So, these polyribosomes basically help in translation, right? Now this is all about ribosomes. Now let's go to inclusion bodies. So basically there are reserve material in prokaryotic cells which are stored in the cytoplasm in the form of inclusion bodies. So these are nothing but storage of reserved material, right? So these are not bound by any membrane system. Remember guys, in the last video we studied that prokaryotic cells don't have membrane bound organelles, right? So again, they are not bound by any membrane and they lie free in the cytoplasm. For example, you have phosphate granules, or you have cytosine granules, or you have glycogen granules. So they are present freely in the cytoplasm, right? Now again, there are gas vacuoles which are found in blue green or purple and green photosynthetic bacteria. Again, these are inclusion bodies. So basically what we covered today is that prokaryotic cell is made up of cell wall, right? So basically not exactly cell wall, I must say cell envelope, right? Cell envelope. Then you have free, chromosome material lying freely. Then you have ribosomes, you have inclusion bodies, and in some cases you have, organs for movement, like you have flagella, villi, and fimbriae. This is in some cases. So this is all about prokaryotic cell, guys. I hope you understood the video very well. Again, all these topics are very important. Cell biology again is a very important part with respect to your boards or NEET exam. So please do let me know if you have any doubt. You can let me know through comments, or you can also message me on WhatsApp. I have given my WhatsApp number in description of the video. And yes, please do not forget to like the video, share it with your friends. And yes, if you're new to the channel, please do not forget to subscribe to the channel to get updates on all the videos that I'll be posting. See you guys in the next video. Bye bye.